have something in that mug for me this week. Oh, it's full. Oh, that's good. What is it? Bug repellent. Oh, it does taste like bug. What is it? Tequila and apple juice. Oh, you're crazy. Oh, hey! Hi! It's me, Wilma Fingerdoo, fully untucked for this week's episode of Untucked. So let's just get to it, shall we? Well, we started this episode off with a full Untucked lounge. And wasn't that nice to see? Drag queens and daughters as far as the eye could see relaxing on a delicious cocktail. Well, not everybody was relaxed. Aquaria seemed a little dismayed over the fact that she got a harsh critique yet again. The judges didn't see a family resemblance between this is really a good cocktail. They didn't see a family resemblance between her and Capricia Corn. And I have to say, I agree. In fact, a lot of the girls in the lounge seem to agree. But she didn't seem to be put out by it because she seemed very proud of the work she did, which of course she would. She's 21, she's proud of everything. She farts, she's proud. But that said, I have to agree with the judges. I mean, seriously, when you looked at that room full of queens and daughters, there were only, the only people that really seemed to stand out as not looking alike were Aquaria and Capricia Corn. Also Cameron and Kelly, I'm just saying. Of course, Cracker was tooting her own horn as much as she'd allow herself to by saying that Cookie would be the first makeover to win the challenge on her own, which I think was her way of trying to eke a compliment out of the other girls, saying, oh no, you did great, you did great. Plus the fact that if Cookie won on her own, it would only be because of Cracker's good mud beating is all I'm saying. And if that's the case, then that's just a shady backpack, which is ironic because Shady Backpack was my drag queen name in high school. Or was it Shady Backfat? Jesus, kids can be mean. And can I just have a minute to say, this is why I like Monet Exchange. Look at her, she's sitting there, such a lady. It's like a Stanley Kubrick film right there, knees wide apart. I'm so serious. I knew there was a reason I liked her. I mean, I'm not going to feel so bad about myself sitting like that anymore. Speaking of cheap, can we just have a minute to just be amazed at the fact that Eureka made both these dresses. I thought she had best made Frankie's. She had hers in her tickle trunk, but no, she made both of them, and they had princess lines and mermaid tail. There was a lot of construction lines in those dresses, and this is exactly why everything I make for myself stretches, because I ain't got time for fitting. Of course, I wasn't surprised to hear that the other girls weren't enamored of Eureka's hard work. They felt that it was a very dated look, which I have to say, I understood Eureka was going for that look. I mean, I thought when she first came out on the runway, oh, I haven't seen a puffy sleeve collar dress in a year or two. And that's why. But it was an homage. I also think it was smart of her to do an homage to a style of drag, because it made it easier, I think, for her to create the drag. I mean, you couldn't miss 90s drag if you hit it with a puffy sleeve. I'm so serious. I was also a little shocked to hear how they went in on Eureka's makeover, especially talking about her proportionized body, which clearly wasn't. They felt her boobs were too big. Can boobs really ever be too big? I just have to ask. And they felt that her hips were too low, that she needed a butt lift. Well, all I have to say to that is, who doesn't? Seriously. But before the debate of where a good butt should land on the body could really get heated up, one of the crew members came in to usher the drag daughters out of the room. And that's when the claws came out. I'm so, ooh, Claws. Claws season 2 is starting soon. Oh, I can't wait. I love that show. Seriously. Right away, Monet asked Cracker and Asia who they thought would end up lip-syncing for their life this week. And no surprise, Cracker immediately said Aquaria, but then so did Asia, much to Monet's delight. Ooh, that should be Monet's autobiography. Monet's Delight. Have sponge, will travel. See, RuPaul? I can do it too. You're not the only clever goose in the workroom, I'm just saying. Ooh, goose. Speaking of Cameron, she told Eureka that no matter what the judges thought of her makeover with Kelly, she was very proud of the work she did, especially because they did really have a very limited amount of time to paint somebody. And I think some of these girls clearly don't paint other queens often. Aquaria does. I don't think Monet or Cameron do. But that said, I thought Cameron did a better job than Monet. I'm just saying. Of course, I thought it was adorable that Eureka threatened bodily harm on anyone who would dare try and send Cameron home in a lip sync. And I have to say, that's my criteria for a BFF. That they're not afraid to cause a little bodily harm to protect their Judy. Just saying. I'm always packing. Now, I don't know if it was because Eureka was being loud with Cameron off by the mirrors or not, but the rest of the girls all seemed to take it as a moment to throw some shade at Eureka, or at least at Eureka's makeover of Eureka, saying that her makeup was hard and they weren't fans of the look. But then Aquaria, God bless her, said that she often gets said that to her face too, so she was okay with it. She didn't have a problem. I mean, God bless Aquaria. I have to say, this is the Aquaria, as Asia said, that we love. This Aquaria. The one at the beginning of this episode, right after last week's elimination, not so much. Not such a fan. Wouldn't sit next to her on a bus is all I'm saying. Seriously. Now, I don't know if Asia was having a come to Jesus moment or she just saw the writing on the wall, but I like that she took a moment to tell Monet how much she enjoyed working with her. It was very a la Eureka last week, where she took that opportunity before she thought she was going home. Seriously. And I just have to say, I am so sorry that Monet has gone, because here's the thing, Monique was the heart of season 10. I don't think there's any disputing that. We've all felt the whole room deflate a bit since she's been gone. But if Monique was the heart, Monet is the life of that room. I'm serious. She's been such a good Judy with all the girls. She's been so supportive. Even though she still has an opinion and isn't afraid to throw a little shade, she's still fun to work with. It doesn't seem like a lot of the girls have problems with her beyond her pussycat wigs and mingy drag. But that said, it still was nice to hear. I think it's nice that these girls take these moments to say things to their face, because often they're usually saying it at the side of their face. I'm just saying. Of course, let's not forget, it's easy to be nice to somebody in the Untucked lounge when you know you're safe. I'm just saying. But before the queens could get taken over by their feels, their drag daughters returned to the Untucked lounge. And Eureka, aka Frankie Grande, gushed over everybody. And I have to say, I expect that Frankie operates at a gush mode at the best of times anyway. But I understand, I have to say, what a thrill it was for her to be on this show. Clearly a show that she really enjoys watching. And I love that she thanked everyone for being so kind and inclusive to her. Well, at least to her face, because if she turned around, she'd have heard some of that shade, I am just saying. But I have to say, I understand why she was gushing. I would gush too, but then again, I'm squishy. Eureka wasn't the only one getting overcome by the grandness of it all. Just see what I did there. America, Asia's drag daughter, almost came to tears when she was expressing her joy and thrill. And what an impact the drag community and drag queens have on our community and now the world at large. I thought it was a very touching moment, and now I see why she's an influencer. I'm just saying. Taking advantage of the praising mood, Cookie praised Eureka over her choices because she was clearly happy being paired with Cracker. But then she said, was there strategy in it? And I'm very proud Eureka didn't say anything shady. She just said, yeah, there was totally. And she said specifically Aquaria, which I think hurt poor Kingsley, aka Capricia Corn's feelings just a little bit, but she understood. Capricia thought that Eureka had actually done the pairing with her and Aquaria because she thought she was trying to throw off the other girls, the other black girls, by not giving them a black girl. But no, Eureka was gunning for Aquaria, and it seemed to work because there was Aquaria off in the background, stretching and listening to the lip sync song. When's the last time anyone saw Aquaria prepare for possibly being in the bottom two? Never. So, good for Eureka. Well done. That's how you strategize. I'm just saying. I also have to say, I was very impressed by Aquaria saying that she wasn't upset with Eureka's strategy because she had just got yelled at by RuPaul for not doing the exact same thing last week with letting the girls pick their own roles for Breast World. So clearly she saw that being a strategist was actually part of the game. Or she just knew from watching the show that Eureka would have a huge fan base when it was all said and done and didn't want to piss anyone off. 6 of one, half dozen of the other. Either way, it was nice to see. And then suddenly the girls were called back to the main stage. They said goodbye to their new drag family, and, well, we all know what happened. Poor Monet sashayed away. And I have to say, Monet was one of my picks for top 3, so I'm very, very sorry to see her go. I'm also sorry that she went on this, because I don't think she should have been in the bottom. I do feel Aquaria and Cameron should have gone in the bottom. And I think Aquaria would have sent Cameron home, I'm just saying. That said, I don't think Monet would have gone much further than she did. And I'm not saying that in a bad way, because I really, really do like Monet. But she was having trouble throughout the whole season. It was her 3rd time in the bottom. But also, here's something I've been hearing people say. She was never going to win because she's too much like Bob the Drag Queen. And Bob the Drag Queen just won. They don't want another Bob the Drag Queen winner. They've been very diversified with the queens that have won, whether it's staged and directed, or just the way it falls out. Personally, I think she could have been more like Bob the Drag Queen, because then she would have won. That's just my opinion. But it's not the last we'll hear of Monet. I am so serious. I mean, in fact, she's already dropped a song, as a lot of these queens do. Remember Blair Sinclair? And it's called Soak It Up, and it features the sponge dress and all its spongy loveliness, plus some sponge color inspired thong wear on tight young boys. So it's a video worth watching. You know, I take a minute or two, lock the door, watch the video. Boomer Banks is in it. Grr. That said, it is one of the best songs that a Drag Race queen has released ever. I am sorry, to most of them, it is the best. The only one that I would say is equal to, if not maybe a little better, was Latrice Royale and Manila Luzon's The Chop. I love that song. It's on my phone. It's on a loop. I love it so much. Chop, chop, chop. But seriously, and clearly, Monet is not going to suffer for not winning RuPaul's Drag Race. She's got a lot of fans out there, and I wish her all the best of luck. And just as a side note, if you ever want my sponge hat, just call me, girl. I'll put it in a box and mail it to you. I'm just saying. So, now we are down to 5 girls, and one more challenge to figure out who's top 4. Now, it sounds to me like they're going to go with the way they did it last year, which was to have a lip sync for the crown, which I think is a little more interesting, I just have to say. But either way, there's only one more girl to send home. Do you think that it's Cameron? Do you think it could be Aquaria? What about Asia? She's kind of been floating the last couple of days, right in the middle there. It's anybody's. It's anybody's. I wouldn't be upset with any of these girls making it or not making it to the top, because I think they've all done such a good job. And the only thing we can do is tune in to RuPaul's Drag Race, not next week, but the week after, and find out who it is. And then, of course, we have the reunion episode where they'll crown Miss Congeniality, and then the crowning itself the week after that, and then we're done. I'm so serious. I just want to point out, I'm going to have a surprise video for next week. I'm going to have a surprise guest. I'm just going to do a little chatty poo on season 10 thus far. So you'll have something to tune in here at the Fingerdoo Review. So you won't have to miss me too much. But until then, don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to share the video. I mean, seriously, you've got a friend out there who needs a laugh, and we all know I'm a hoot. And make sure that you subscribe, because seriously, when I drop surprise videos, I don't want you missing them, I'm just saying. So, until next week, miss me. Mwah. Seriously, Jorge, this bug spray is starting to grow on me. Oh, I mean, I feel like a mosquito sucking at it.